I'm Tim Ogden. I'm a senior fellow at the Aspen Institute's Financial Security Program and the managing director of the U.S. Financial Diaries Project. Income volatility was a big finding of the U.S. Financial Diaries Project, but there's still a whole lot of questions about what exactly income volatility is, how many people it affects, how big of an issue it is, how are people coping, who should we care about? What's the right unit of measure to look at income volatility? Do we care about bi-weekly basis or monthly basis or quarterly basis or annual basis? And the answer is it's not really clear to me. And so I was hoping to hear a lot of what other people had to say and how they were thinking about this problem. Another dimension of it is, should we think about this primarily as an income volatility problem or an expense volatility problem? Because households seem to me to think about it as I've got expenses and the income is really about meeting those expenses, not I've got an income goal and there's this problem, my expenses are going up and down. So I'm using income to accomplish something. And so should we be thinking more about expense volatility and how do we bring that down? And if we bring that down, does that make the income volatility better? In terms of what we can do about all of this, coming from a place where I do of skepticism of how much we know about what good things to do are, one of the key questions I've been really thinking about is what's the role of increasing savings so that families have a reserve fund and have some resiliency to deal with income volatility versus helping them pay down debt? Because a lot of these households are carrying actually quite expensive debt. And so how much should we be investing in helping families build up savings and how much should we be investing in helping them pay down debt? Because both are good for them and it's not clear what the optimal mix is. So I think there's a powerful place where we can get to of recognizing we need to help families do a variety of things and figure out how to align advice to specific circumstances. The other side of things is at the jobs level. I don't think this is a story of a bunch of employers deciding that they can now gang up on workers and just don't care about their employees. I think a lot of the volatility we see in jobs is more just this technology emerges that allows us to do that and we implement it without really thinking through all of the ways that may affect our business. And so I think there's a large scope for employers to understand what some of these decisions are doing to their employees and then quickly recognize, well, I don't want to do that to my employees. I actually want more productive employees who are happier working here, who do a better job. And so I can tweak some of the things I've done to reduce a lot of that impact on those households and make things better, maybe on a marginal basis, but that's still better. And the more we can take some volatility out of the question or out of the process for these families, the more likely that they can seize control of the parts of their lives that they really want to. And I think there's a lot of scope for employers who actually will want to do that if they understand what the issues are and what they can do about them. One of the things that has just really leaped out at me is how little we know about what advice to give people. What's the right way to manage a financial life if your model isn't a lifetime arc of relatively stable earnings and increasing earnings? So in a world where a lot of people experience wage stagnation and then month to month or week to week volatility within that stagnant wage, the ideas we've talked about it, the way to build a stable financial life is to build a budget and stick to that budget and exercise self-control and put your savings in places to lock it up so you can resist temptation. That doesn't make a lot of sense if your wages aren't increasing and if you don't even know what your income is going to be month to month, particularly when so many expenses are monthly and fixed and so much income is not monthly and not fixed. And so as I've looked at the stories of households, one of the things I've thought over and over again is, what would I tell this household to do differently? Can I see a place where they could be adjusting their financial life in ways that would make them better off? And for a lot of households, it's not that there's nothing that they could do. It's that I can think of 7 different things that they could do, but I have no idea whether any of those would actually help or not.